Welcome to Gentle Mind Shift, where we explore deep life lessons to help you find peace and clarity in this busy world. Have you ever felt like the more you show up for others, the less they actually notice or appreciate your presence? It is a painful paradox of human nature that constant availability often leads to being taken completely for granted by everyone. When you are always there to solve every single problem, your kindness gradually transforms into an expected daily obligation for them. We believe that helping others is a noble virtue, but we rarely stop to consider the hidden cost of our excessive availability. Today, we will share a beautiful story about Adrien, a man who learned the true value of absence and personal boundaries. Adrien lived in a quiet, rustic village nestled between rolling green hills, where everyone knew each other by their first names. He was a gentle soul with a warm heart, always ready to lend a helping hand to anyone who asked him. If a neighbor needed their leaking roof repaired before the heavy autumn rains, Adrien was always the very first to arrive. When the local blacksmith needed heavy stones moved to expand his workshop, Adrien spent the entire afternoon carrying them willingly. No task was too small or too difficult for him, and he greeted every request with a bright, cheerful smile. Adrien falsely believed that his personal worth was entirely defined by how useful and indispensable he could be to others. He could never bring himself to say no, fearing that rejection would make him look selfish or unkind to his neighbors. So he kept giving away his precious time, energy, and peace of mind, ignoring his own growing exhaustion and fatigue. Slowly but surely, the villagers stopped saying thank you, treating his constant generosity as a natural, expected part of life. They would call his name for the slightest inconvenience, fully expecting him to drop everything and run to their aid. Adrien began to feel an empty ache inside, realizing that his presence was only valued for the labor he provided. Yet, he continued the exhausting cycle, trapped in his own psychological need to be constantly needed by the entire village. He did not understand that by solving every obstacle, he was preventing others from developing their own strength and resilience. Then, one chilly autumn evening, a sudden and severe illness struck Adrien, leaving him completely weak and confined to bed. His fever raged high, and for the very first time in many years, he could not step outside his home. On the first day, a few concerned villagers stopped by his wooden cottage to bring him warm soup and well wishes. But as the days slowly turned into a week, the visitors stopped coming, busy with their own daily chores and lives. Adrien lay alone in the quiet room, listening to the distant sounds of the bustling village outside his bedroom window. One morning, looking through the dusty glass, he saw the local baker struggling to repair a broken cartwheel alone. Usually, Adrien would have rushed to help, but now he could only watch in silence from his wooden bed frame. To his absolute surprise, the baker did not give up. He found a hammer and slowly fixed the wheel himself. Later that afternoon, Adrien watched an old farmer patiently climbing a ladder to repair his own damaged cottage roof tiles. And down by the dusty road, two young brothers worked together to lift and move a heavy pile of stones. A profound realization washed over Adrien as he carefully observed his neighbors successfully managing their own difficulties without his constant assistance. He realized they certainly appreciated his help, but they also desperately needed the opportunity to help themselves and grow stronger. By always stepping in, he had unknowingly robbed them of the chance to learn, adapt, and build their own capabilities. After a couple of weeks, Adrien finally recovered his physical strength and decided to take a long, reflective walk outside. He walked along the winding dirt path that led toward the quiet, whispering forest on the edge of the village. There, he met a wise elderly traveler who was resting peacefully on a large, smooth stone under a shady tree. The old man had a calm, knowing smile and eyes that seemed to have witnessed a lifetime of deep human experiences. As they began to talk, Adrien shared his feelings of exhaustion and his recent realization about the villagers' sudden independence. The traveler listened intently, then pointed to a large, sharp stone lying right in the middle of the walking path. He asked Adrien what he would normally do if he saw travelers struggling to walk around that big, sharp obstacle. Adrien replied instantly that he would immediately pick up the heavy stone and move it far away from the path. The wise old traveler shook his head slowly, a very gentle, compassionate smile appearing on his weathered and wrinkled face. He looked at Adrien and spoke words that would forever alter the young man's perspective on life and helping others. If you always remove every single stone from their path, they will never learn how to navigate around life's obstacles. Your constant presence has shielded them from growth, making them dependent on you instead of developing their own inner strength. Sometimes the greatest act of love and kindness you can offer is to step back and let people face challenges. Adrien stood in complete silence, the profound truth of the traveler's words echoing deeply within his heart and his mind. He understood that his constant availability was not true kindness, but a way to satisfy his own need for validation. From that day forward, Adrien made a conscious decision to change his behavior and practice the art of strategic absence. He did not stop caring for his beloved neighbors, but he quickly learned to step back and let them try first. When they asked for help, he would offer wise guidance instead of doing the entire physical work for them directly. The villagers slowly adapted to this change, discovering their own hidden talents and forming a stronger, more independent community than ever before. They also began to appreciate Adrien much more, realizing that his time and presence were precious gifts, not guaranteed rights. His absence had taught them a valuable lesson in gratitude, transforming their relationship into one of mutual respect and honor. This story reminds us that we must establish healthy boundaries in our lives to preserve our own energy and peace. When you are always available, you teach people that your time has no value, leading to exhaustion and deep resentment. By stepping back, you allow others to step up, take responsibility, and discover their own deep potential for overcoming life's difficulties. Do not fear that your absence will make you unloved. Instead, trust that true connections are built on mutual respect. Learn to say no with grace, protect your mental health, and let others walk their own paths of personal growth. Thank you for watching this video, and we hope these reflections bring a peaceful shift to your daily life journey. Remember to subscribe to Gentle Mind Shift for more inspiring stories, and may you find balance and harmony in everything.